You guys, you want to hear my? We're working on Ava's first words already.
Really?
Yeah. There you go.
Daddy. Mark.
Daddy.
They used to do that, and then the kids would come over, and I'd go, fish on, fish on.
You got to get them started early.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a cannon? That's a Scotty unit.
Okay, what are we doing here, boys? Rob Ensley here from the Outdoor Line of 710 ESPN Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
We got John
art
Keizer.
class going on.
We got John Keizer from saltpatrol.com here. Joined us on the show this morning. And John, one of the questions on the show this morning was how to test your downriggers to see what kind of electrical charge they're giving off. Can you explain how to do that again here for folks?
Yeah, be happy to. I'm just waiting to see how the... Oh, here we go. We got an outboard now. It looks like a... Is that an Evinrude?
Yeah, it's, without question, it's an Evinrude. Yes. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Sweet. All right.
All right. So, I am no artist, but this is real easy to do. So basically, one of the questions we had today on the show was, how do you test the electrolysis on your boats, on your downrigger wire on your boat, John? And basically, the system's set up. I mean, anytime you have wire in the water, you've got voltage because
You just created a battery.
you've created a battery.
Yeah, you got salt water, right?
Definitely.
Stainless wire.
Yes.
You got a zinc.
You got a zinc protecting your boat's
better
underwater
have a
metals.
zinc.
Right. And it doesn't matter if you have a fiberglass boat or an aluminum boat, you still
Works the
have
same way.
It works the same way because your outdrive or outboard has zinc sacrificial anodes.
Yep.
Okay. So what we're talking about is the electric potential between the stainless and the zinc, and that's why there's voltage on your wire. So John, how do we test that voltage?
Okay, first thing we had to do, draw me a multimeter.
Here it is.
All right.
0.05.
Yeah, we want to put it. You want to put it on the reading for 12 volt. Okay, doesn't do you any good to read 110 because we're talking about less than 1 volt. We're on a 1 volt scale. All right. Well, that's one way to do it.
So that's your
First thing, you got to get your boat away from everybody else. You got to get it out of the marina.
Okay.
If you do this in the marina, it's not going to work because the guy that's living on his boat next to you is putting out a current in the water, and it's gonna. That's why your zinc's getting eaten up to begin with. So get out in the water. Get out where you're going to fish. Get this down about 10 feet in the water, so you got a good reading on it, right? So we're down about 10 feet. Got our ball down there. There we go. Perfect.
10 feet.
Yeah, 10 feet.
There
All right.
we go.
And then what Tom drew here, we have a multimeter. So we're going to turn our multimeter on, and we're going to take our positive lead. Doesn't really matter. We're going to take our positive lead, and we're going to go to the wire. Correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Then we're going to take our negative lead, and we're going to go to something that's grounded to the battery.
Right. Or
you can go to motor mount.
You can go to the motor mount, or you can go directly to the battery, because that's, in my mind, that's where you're
So
going
you
to
get
get
the
the
best
cleanest
reading.
Right.
But sometimes you don't have a long enough cord to do that.
But
so
in that case, you can take an extra piece of wire and
correct.
ground it, and then ground out your multimeter to
you
that
are
wire.
correct. You will get a better reading.
Right.
So then you're going to start reading. You're going to get a reading. So we're looking for that reading on the wire. So that's going to give us our base reading. So possibly it's at...
Here's a white.
So possibly it's at 0.07 of a volt.
Now
Which
you
is,
want it to be between 0.06 and 0.08. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
between 0.06 to 0.08. It's going to be in that range. You know, most boats are going to test there anyway.
sure.
If you're low, what you're telling, if it's below this, it's probably you got bad zincs. You need to replace your zincs or add some zincs. Correct? Okay. If you're high, you got something leaking. So we got something grounded. Usually what ends up happening is if you look at your batteries, you'll see some corrosion going on here where some wire is rubbing against the hull and you're getting some leakage back into there and it's picking it up on that wire. That's a really bad thing. So I've seen them so hot before the wire actually was laying on a cleat and started cutting the cleat, on the boat. So
a little on the warm side,
little
right
on
there.
the warm side, little on the warm side. So you want to get a reading. And the other thing you want to do is you want to turn everything on your boat while you're doing this. After you get your base reading, turn it on. Turn on your lights, turn on your horn, turn on your your bilge pump, your radios, all that stuff, and make sure and see if anything spikes it at all. If you're getting any strange readings.
This is one of the reasons why some boats are fishy and some boats are not. Boats with well-maintained electrical system, boats with zincs that are actively eroding, tend to fish better.
Correct.
If you have a second owner boat and somebody put their own bilge pump in or something and the wire's corroded through, it could be dumping battery voltage right into your bilge.
Yep, and you won't know unless you test it.
You won't.
You know, I look at mine every year. I always want to test it, see what it is. Now, the way this thing works People get mistaken. They think that you turn this on, I set it at 0.7, 0.07, and it's going to call fish in. Doesn't really work that way.
Right.
What it does is it creates an electrical field around this wire, okay? And as a fish passes through that electrical field, what's he do? It naturally turns towards the current. So, but what did he do? Now he turns towards my gear.
Exactly.
So instead of
This is
looking
why-
here, he's looking at my gear.
This is why there's going to be days when braid doesn't fish as well as cable. There's going to be days when cable's just going to outfish the braid. Braid's really easy to work with.
It is.
But it doesn't always produce fish.
It is. If you could put a charge in it, it would be
Yeah.
the way to go
Yeah.
because it is so easy to fish.
I agree.
No
I agree.
memory, be able to tie a knot, instead of crimping stuff.
So
Particularly
sometimes-
blackmouth season when you're knocking off baits all the time.
And this is one of the times that easier is not always better.
Not always.
I'm a believer in stainless. I think it fishes a lot better. There's some guys you could take the electrical part of this out of the equation. If you've got an electrical problem on your boat,
Yep.
that's one way to get away from it. But if you're a wire guy on your downriggers, you need to replace that stuff every other year.
Yes.
So before
It's
you
a
start,
rare item.
it is. It is. It really is. So one way that I would start, if you had a question, if your boat's not fishy like you believe it should be, replace the zincs on your boat, replace the zincs on your motor, start with fresh wire. That's
Right.
going to give you a good
It
baseline.
gives you a
to
good
see where
baseline, and then you can go from there up and down. And remember, there's a reason commercial fishermen, commercial trollers spend so much money on this technology to get their boat tuned in. Because why? Because they catch more fish.
catch more fish. More
Yeah.
fish is more money, and that's how they make their living.
That's
Definitely.
right.
So
Yeah. All right.
All
There
right.
you go.
okay.
Ready for blackmouth? We're looking for the blackmouth derby next weekend, and the Anacortes derby. You can put some fish
Oh,
in
yeah.
the boat.
We'll be coming to you live next week from the Peninsula Salmon Derby in Port Townsend. Of course, John, you're going to be there too.
I will.
And make sure you buy your tickets to the Anacortes Salmon Derby, and we'll see you next week on the Outdoor Line on 710 ESPN Seattle.